Okay, I'm hoping Apple are really trying to set the bar low here, just to get everyone excited when they do release it. But there's some promising bits here, but definitely some things that I would be concerned about as a customer.
Yeah, I'm quite eager to see how this one is differentiated from an Apple Intelligence standpoint, because frankly, the actual physical phone, in my opinion, has the upgrades that you see maybe on the camera, on the processor specs, on the screen itself. It feels like we've kind of topped out on how sophisticated those physical elements can get. So really, I think people might be better off looking to see, is Apple Intelligence featured much more seamlessly into the software? Is Siri just a lot more easier to work with? We're in the world of, agentic AI now. Can I tell Siri to call me an Uber and have it be, come on time and, be the price point that I want? Things like that. Can we use AI in our lives because of Siri in the future?
So I think Apple have to do something big, and the rumors have reflected that with camera upgrades, refresh rate upgrades, which would be great, one of the personal favorites of mine, as well as AI features, which I've actually not heard as much about, but I'm expecting big things.
The rumour I've heard is that wireless charging, which previously you only really got good performance wireless charging if you put your phone on a kind of an official Apple wireless charger, they're now moving it to kind of more of the universal technology. So any wireless charger that's around, you should get strong charging speed from it, which is again, Apple kind of like when they moved from Lightning to the universal USB charger. It's Apple, I think, hearing the language of people. They're going to get more adoption if people can use it. They don't want specific charging cables on this just for their Apple phone.
I have heard rumors about the iPhone 17. The popular one seems to be that this time around they're going to have a iPhone 17 Air model, which is touted to be one of the lightest iPhones to come out in recent years. So that should be an interesting one for people who like smaller, lighter phones, maybe to go in their purse and other places.
So there's normally 4 models, right, that Apple go out with. They've got the 2 base models, the Plus one slightly bigger than the base, and they've got the 2 Pro models where the Pro Max is bigger. Now this year, there is rumors about an Air model coming out, which is going to be a super thin version, so something actually new that Apple haven't done before.
Yeah, the Air gives Edge vibes, but that does look thin, and it looks nice. I would definitely consider using that, and I can imagine how light that would fill my pocket. It looks great.
So the Air does look pretty sleek, to be fair, and if you're not, the one camera is still a lot better if you're upgrading your phone than what you would have had if you've got a 4-year or whatever old phone. You've got a base model, so it's probably a market for it.
I do like a light phone, so that actually looks nice, very clean, and I like that there's only one lens with the island.
The one camera on the Air though is a little bit concerning for me. It just looks very, very budget, and I could guarantee you this will not be a budget price. That would have been nice to have at least 2 cameras on the back.
Yeah, I think battery life is going to be potentially a concern with the Air. Quite a few people, we know already iPhones tend to suffer with battery life as they age. I certainly can attest to that as someone who has an iPhone 11, so keep that in mind.
Wow, okay, so saying less than a 3000 battery, which I would be running for the hills. If this is true, which we're not saying it is, that is really, really concerning.
Okay, so sticking with the 2 camera lenses.
Okay, the camera just screams Google to me. With the back, again, where's the innovation? It's just taking bits from other phones. Okay, the colors straight away. Very bright, maybe a little bit too pop world for me. I don't know. I don't know why they're trying to be. Yeah.
And I also like the orange and that light sky blue. I think those colors are quite interesting for people who like to go for kind of the shiny newer devices. Those are the nice ones.
The blue and orange is not great. That's my initial thought.
The colors are cool. I mean, my main thing is just worried about dropping the phone, so I just stick a case on it, so it doesn't appeal to me, but I guess people get see-through cases that are super cool, so you could get a color in a see-through case, I get that.
I like that you can charge your other devices on the back, that's pretty cool.
Okay, that's cool. If I can charge my AirPods on my phone, fair. Innovation, Apple, they listen to me finally, yes. Ask and you shall receive.
That's actually pretty cool. If you can put your watch or your AirPods on the back of your phone, you actually don't need charger. That is a pretty cool feature. And especially again with the new kind of the rumours around, it's going to be, even if you want to charge your phone, you've got better wireless charging capability with universal chargers.
The Fold, there's rumours, and Apple are pretty good at keeping things under wraps if they want to. So if there's rumours already, and I'm hearing 2026 possibly, then I wouldn't be surprised if we see a Fold. I'd be here for it to try. I'd be interested to see what pricing they go for, and if the features will be half as good as what Samsung offer, because I'd be interested to see if they get, how close they get, essentially. So yeah, I'll see a Fold, but let's see how this launch goes. I think Apple know this. They need to keep the appetite going. That's why they're leaking phones even a year before they might even launch.
I think their focus right now is on their Apple Intelligence. Obviously, when that launched, for Apple, it wasn't, I think it's fair to say, the smoothest launch of a new feature for them, especially compared to the other launches of AI.
Ooh, I've heard that they might be interested in releasing a foldable phone, which are getting very popular these days. They're kind of back. The Motorola Flip era, people will kind of have something to go for this time, maybe. Haven't heard anything definitive. I'm definitely not someone who loves a folded phone, you know, given the screen would be slightly different from what I'm used to, but it is a very popular alternative these days, and there could be an Apple foldable phone coming up.
Once they've got that down, if they see a market for cool features like a folding phone, maybe, but I think they're probably focused on that software side of things right now, rather than totally changing the kind of the manufacturing physical side of things.
The iPhone 17 definitely has some formidable competition this time around. Samsung has been hot on their heels for quite some time now with their S24, S25 models, so that next evolution, I imagine, is going to be a very strong competitor. I'd say phone capabilities-wise, like literally if you lined up the specs of a Pixel, the latest Samsung S series, S25 series, and the iPhones, they're going to be pretty neck to neck. So it's really about, you know, is there a brand that calls out to you a little bit more? Are you already integrated into one of those ecosystems with your software and laptop and all the other stuff that goes with it? So it's really making a decision on that.
Google doing a great job. Samsung, they've just released their Fold. There is a market for folding phones, always on display, stuff like that. So there are some really cool features out in the Android market, whether it's Samsung, Google, or any of the other manufacturers that release phones, where Apple haven't really ventured into. So there's obviously a market for that.
If I was in Apple's shoes, I think you can't look at what Samsung have been doing this year and be a little bit worried. I think that they seem to be a step ahead with the AI features on the phones. They've also come up with a lot of innovative, different types of phones. If you're a customer of Samsung, you have so many options. Yeah, I want Apple to have a look at Samsung and what they're doing with the different types of models offering people. I think specs are starting to reach a point where you can't do too much more. So offer me different sizes, shapes, and all that kind of stuff. I'm up for it.
I have an Apple iPhone 13 Pro Max.
What phone do I have? Oh, very personal. Okay, I'm getting exposed now. For all the slating I've just given Apple, I have an iPhone 16, as I mentioned before.
I have an old iPhone 11 that... See, this is what I'm saying. I'm not like the best.
And I do really enjoy it. I'm part of the Apple family, but I'm getting closer to Samsung. So maybe if we do this in a year, we'll see where I'm at. But at the moment, yeah, I'm excited to see what the 17 is as well.
I mean, for me, I still have to use lightning chargers, which is a pain, right? So I'm very much, that would be the biggest difference for me, is getting a phone that I can just use one of those USB-C universal ones.
To be honest, given where I am with an iPhone 11, I don't think I'm in that, segment that's going to be convinced to buy an iPhone 17, but I will be convinced to upgrade to maybe a 15 or a 16. I am in the Apple iPhone ecosystem, so I'm going to stick with it. But if I'm going to stick with it, I'm going to look for a good deal, and I don't think the 17 is going to be the one for me.